Hello everybody, welcome back by a new video, and today it's time to start up a new series. And in this series I'm going to recommend you guys some albums that I really love and I think are slightly or just underrated. And let's start with an album that's almost my all-time favorite album. It's definitely in my top 10, and that is Tripper by Efterklang. Tripper is a very different album compared to the rest of Efterklang's discography. This thing is way more orchestral and also it's kind of electronically oriented. Definitely has some influences from electronic music. It's also way darker than the rest of their albums. It's their debut album. They've had one EP before that's called Springer, which is pretty much very similar to Tripper, but it's like way less interesting. Not that it's definitely not a bad EP, but I think the sound they were going for on Springer definitely came out way better on Tripper than it did on Springer. So this album is the perfect album for like a snowy winter night. Because this really is an album for like an isolated listen. And it's also an album that really feels like it's recorded in like a studio somewhere like in the north of Sweden, isolated from any big cities. At like the time where it's like almost permanent midnight the whole day, where there's like barely any daylight. And that vibe really carries on from the first track called Fetus to the last track called Chapter 6, because this album flows extremely well. So Fetus is a beautiful intro song which has orchestral singing to make the track feel actually pretty big, but it also feels very isolated. It kind of feels like you're standing like in a forest all alone, just with like fields of snow around you. It's incredible how well they captured that vibe. I kind of wish this track was longer because it's only 3 minutes in length, and it's just absolutely beautiful. This track goes really well into the next track called Swarming, which is I think the easiest song to listen to on this album. It's really beautiful, subtle vocals. The entire album has really beautiful and subtle vocals, and you also have like it's also kind of some electronic noise in the background, almost glitchy, topped by some very beautiful and passionate instrumentation. There's also a track on here called Prey and Predator, which is I think the most climactic this album gets. After like the 4th minute mark, this song kind of sort of explodes, doesn't really get loud or anything, but it also has some amazing beautiful horn work to make this song feel very climactic at the end. Doppelganger, if that's the way you have to pronounce this song, because the title is a bit difficult. It's like this extended intro, which kind of feels like you're in a very cozy busy city, but there are like you're all alone and just listening to that music, but there are people like talking around you and having fun around you. There's actually like some sort of sample of people whispering in the background that contrasts very nicely with the drone on the intro of the song. This song doesn't get super loud, it's definitely a vibe, but it's just extremely beautiful. Definitely something I would still want to listen to like on a winter day in the city. Tortuous Tracks is like the most interesting sound-wise, I think. Almost kind of serves as an interlude. It feels like something that would play in a Legend of Zelda game or a Minecraft game, because of like when you're in a cave or something, in beautiful crystal cave. I don't know if this comparison really works, but some of the very detailed background noises really make me think of some sort of weird, beautiful cave. The longest track, Monopolist, is also unique in that it has like I mean, it's a pretty standard track for the album, but the end is spent like with some violins and stuff. Swelling at the end, on which it almost becomes unsettling in a way. Because all the sounds on the album have been very beautiful and very passionate, and like this is like a bit more extreme. Probably the second most climactic part of the album. Then the closer, chapter 6, is also nothing too special, still very beautiful. And the end of this song is also really weird. It kind of feels like just walking away from another kind of crowded space. Again, it feels very isolated. You have like these almost orchestral singing vocal things that kind of fade out. It feels like they are in a very big open space with like a lot of echo, but you're just slowly walking away from it until it completely fades out, and it's just some very depressing violins on the end. But yeah, overall this Tripper is like a very unique listen. Definitely sounds from what it came from, and I think this is Efterklang's best album. This one is really underrated. The flow is amazing, the vibe is amazing. I have no idea why I'm recording this video in spring, because that's really not the right time to do that, to listen to the album. But still, it does work really well at nighttime. And yeah, that's all I had to say about Tripper. So yeah, thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any other suggestions. And have a nice day, and see you in the next video.